I smoothed my simple white coat as I entered Le Cirque, where my family was already seated for our monthly dinner. My sister Emma's designer handbag occupied the chair next to her, her way of saying my clinic clothes shouldn't be too close. Late again, Mom sighed, checking her Cartier watch. Still playing with that little urgent care center? Something like that, I replied, taking my seat as their faces reflected disappointment in the restaurant's fine crystal. Emma adjusted her chief resident badge from Metropolitan Hospital. How many patients today? 6. A few more than that, I said, checking my phone discreetly. The acquisition alerts were right on schedule. Catherine, Dad frowned, when are you going to join a real hospital? Emma's department has an opening. For janitors, Emma smirked. Though that might be a step up from your strip mall clinic. I took a sip of water, watching the latest stock data scroll across my screen. How's Metropolitan's budget looking these days, Em? Not that you'd understand hospital finances, she waved dismissively, but we're expanding. New cardiac wing, proton therapy center. Interesting, I murmured. And the funding's secure. Of course it is. Unlike your little. Emma's voice trailed off as the hospital board president approached our table. Dr. Winters, he said, nodding to me. The paperwork is complete. Your acquisition of all regional hospitals, including Metropolitan, has been approved. The board is ready for transition whenever you are. Mom's wineglass stopped halfway to her lips. Dad's fork clattered against fine china. I'm sorry, Emma sputtered. What acquisition? I stood, straightening my coat. Winter Health Systems now owns every major hospital in the tri-state area, including your precious Metropolitan. That's impossible, Dad protested. The cost alone would be about $12 billion, I finished. Give or take a few $100 million for the specialty centers. But your clinic, Mom whispered, was the testing ground for our AI diagnostic system and automated patient care platform. The same technology that's now worth more than all your hospitals combined. I turned to the board president. Shall we discuss the transition timeline? Emma's badge suddenly looked very small against her designer blouse. The night was young and they hadn't even seen the new hospital logos yet. You can't just... Emma started, but the board president interrupted. Dr. Winter's AI system has revolutionized emergency care, he explained. The diagnostic accuracy rates are unprecedented. Every major health network in the country is trying to acquire the technology. My little clinic processes more patients per hour than Metropolitan's entire ER, I added. With better outcomes and zero malpractice claims. Dad's face had gone from dismissive to ashen. But the medical board approved our system last month, I finished. Those games I was playing with computer code? They're now the new standard of care. Catherine, Mom hissed, why didn't you tell us? Tell you. I laughed softly. Like you told your friends I was wasting my medical degree on a clinic? Or when Emma told the hospital board I was playing doctor while she climbed the corporate ladder. The maitre d' appeared with a bottle of champagne. Compliments of the owner, Dr. Winters. He's very excited about Winter Health's new cardiac center replacing Metropolitan's planned expansion. Emma's face went from smug to stunned. Replacing? Your expansion plans are obsolete, I explained, checking my tablet. Our AI-driven facility will do twice the procedures at half the cost. Speaking of which, how's your department's efficiency rating? She grabbed her phone, frantically checking her emails. They can't just cancel. They already did. Check your inbox. All department heads are being evaluated for compatibility with our new system. Evaluated? Emma's voice cracked. Don't worry, sis. I'm sure we can find you a position. Perhaps in one of our strip mall clinics? They're excellent training facilities for learning modern medicine. The board president cleared his throat. Dr. Winters, the press is waiting for the announcement. Of course. I stood, smoothing my coat, the one Emma had mocked for not being designer label. The Winter Health Systems logo on its breast pocket suddenly seemed to glow under the restaurant's lighting. Mom, Dad, I added, you might want to update your insurance cards. All your doctors now work for me. The night had only begun and I hadn't even shown them the new emergency response drones yet. The next morning, I stood in Metropolitan Hospital's executive suite, my new executive suite, watching Emma's belongings being packed from the chief resident's office next door. The Winter Health Systems logo was already being installed across the building's facade, visible through the floor-to-ceiling windows. "Your family is here," my AI assistant announced through my earpiece. "They're having trouble with the new biometric security system in the lobby." "Show me," I said, pulling up the security feed on my tablet. Mom was frantically waving Emma's old hospital ID at the scanner while Dad argued with the security guard about his decades of visiting privileges. "Let them up," I instructed, "but flag them as restricted access." They burst into my office minutes later, Emma still in yesterday's clothes. "Pi office," she sputtered, watching the moving crew through the glass wall. "Pi patients are now being treated by our AI-assisted medical team," I finished, pulling up the morning's statistics. "Fascinating data. Seems your department had a 40% unnecessary testing rate. We've already reduced it to 5%. "Those tests were medically indicated," she protested. "According to what, your gut feeling?" I projected the diagnostic comparisons onto the smart glass. "Our AI has analyzed 10 million similar cases. It doesn't need to order extra tests to cover its legal bases." "Catherine," Dad stepped forward, trying his authoritative voice, "you can't possibly manage a major hospital network." "Actually," I interrupted, switching the display to our organizational chart, "I already am. 15 hospitals, 200 clinics, and the largest telemedicine platform in the country. All running on our proprietary AI system." "But the medical staff," Mom began, "is thrilled. Our AI handles paperwork, insurance, and preliminary diagnoses. Doctors can focus on actual medicine instead of bureaucracy." I turned to Emma. "Speaking of which, your performance review." She grabbed the tablet from my hands, face paling as she read. "This is impossible. My patient satisfaction scores were artificially inflated by your selective reporting," I finished. "Our system tracked every outcome, every complaint, every delayed diagnosis. Would you like to see the real numbers?" The moving crew finished with her office, leaving only bare walls where her prestigious certificates had hung. "You can't do this," she whispered. "Actually, I can. But don't worry, we have an opening at our AI training clinic. The same strip mall facility you mocked last night. Starting salary is significantly less than you're used to, but the learning opportunity is priceless." Mom collapsed into a smart conforming chair that adjusted to her distress. "Your sister has worked her entire life to climb a ladder that doesn't exist anymore," I completed. "Modern medicine isn't about corner offices and golf club memberships. It's about outcomes, efficiency, and accessibility." My phone buzzed with an alert. "If you'll excuse me, the governor is calling about expanding our emergency drone network statewide. Emma, HR will contact you about the clinic position. Mom, Dad, you might want to update your primary care physicians. Your current ones don't meet our AI integration standards." As security arrived to escort them out, I called after them, "Oh, and Emma? The white coat from that little clinic you mocked? It's now the standard uniform across all Winter Health facilities, including Metropolitan. You'll need to order one for your new position." The future of medicine had arrived, and it wore simple white coats powered by quantum computers. 1 week later, I stood in Metropolitan's new AI command center, formerly the hospital's prestigious doctor's lounge. Gone were the leather armchairs and mahogany paneling, replaced by holographic patient monitors and quantum diagnostic systems. The coffee machine that had been Emma's social hub now served as a charging station for medical delivery drones. "Your family is requesting access," my AI assistant noted. Again, I pulled up the lobby feed. Emma stood in her new clinic uniform, the same basic white coat she'd mocked, while Mom clutched a stack of medical records and Dad paced nervously. "Let them up," I authorized, "and display their medical histories." When they entered, their health data automatically projected onto the smart glass walls, every test, procedure, and medication they'd ever received. "Interesting reading," I commented, highlighting several entries. "Emma, did you know Mom's been doctor shopping for migraine medications? And Dad's cardiac workup last month. 3 redundant tests at full billing. That's private medical information." Emma protested. Not anymore. Winter Health Systems now manages all regional medical records. Our AI flagged these inefficiencies immediately. I turned to Mom. Those migraines, by the way. Our system suggests they're stress-induced. Perhaps from maintaining appearances at the country club. Mom sank into a diagnostic chair that immediately began scanning her vitals. Catherine, please. Your blood pressure is elevated, I noted as the readings appeared. And Dad's arrhythmia is back. Would you like to see what proper medical care looks like? I gestured and the room transformed into a full diagnostic suite. Holographic organs floated in the air, highlighting every medical issue they'd been hiding or ineffectively treating. This is impossible, Dad muttered, watching his own heart rotate before him. You keep using that word, I replied. Just like when I suggested computerized diagnostics in medical school. Right before you cut off my tuition. We were trying to protect you, Mom insisted. No, you were trying to control me. How's that working out? I pulled up the hospital's financial reports. Winter Health's patient outcomes are up 80%. Costs are down 60%. And those social connections you were so proud of? They're all coming to our facilities now. Emma stepped forward. The clinic position is non-negotiable, I cut her off. Though you might be interested to know your patient satisfaction scores have improved. Amazing what happens when you actually listen to the AI recommendations instead of your ego. But my research, she tried again, is outdated. Our AI has analyzed more cases in the past week than you'll see in your entire career. I projected the latest results. That paper you've been working on, the one you bragged about at dinner, our system disproved your hypothesis in 3 minutes. The color drained from her face as years of research crumbled before her eyes. However, I continued, we are expanding our AI research division. Entry-level positions are available, after proper retraining, of course. My phone buzzed, another hospital group requesting our technology. If you'll excuse me, Mayo Clinic is calling. Mom, Dad, the AI has scheduled comprehensive workups for both of you. Emma can handle the intake forms, just like she does at the clinic. As they turned to leave, I added, oh, and Emma? That designer handbag you used to block my clinic clothes at dinner? There's a dress code violation notice in your inbox. Standard uniforms only in Winter Health facilities. Even for family. The future of medicine had no room for prestige or pretense. Only precision and results. And I was just getting started.